Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of VIVE Influencers. Today, we have a very special guest, Jairi. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. I hope you are.
Great. So why don't you tell us about yourself a bit and your channel?
So I go by Jairi online. I'm 30 years old. I've had a YouTube channel for about 2 years now. It's coming up on the 2-year anniversary. Been involved in VR since 2016. Decided to jump into, sharing the love of VR online, both on TikTok and through YouTube. And here we are, 2 years later.
Great. And what do you feel like makes your channel special?
I would say my sense of humor, the way that I tackle games. I try to make it as wholesome as possible, going more towards the wholesome side lately. But yeah, just to involve everybody, play the games that nobody really pays attention to or notices, a lot of the indie games, and just try to spread VR as much as I can. Talk to the fans, talk to people, answer questions that they have, that kind of thing.
Great. And why don't you tell us about a brief background of your life journey and the choices that led you up to this point? How did you get into VR so early, and what made you want to start your channel?
So my first headset was an HTC Vive in 2016. I had been following VR for a while and kind of got bored with flat screen gaming. And I saw how immersive virtual reality is. And I actually picked up my headset while I was still working in the medical field. And being a lifelong gamer myself, of course, you pick it up, you're immersed in a game, you see all of these new senses and sensations that you hadn't felt before, and I was floored. I spent some time, a couple of years, getting used to the VR landscape, getting used to the headset and all of the technology. And then when I saw the potential of how virtual reality could change things for other people, especially stuff in the VR medical market, I realized that I could use it for good, and especially during the pandemic as well, bring some happiness to people. I would say the day that I picked up my headset was the day that I changed my life, just because it opened so many doors for me in gaming and, in what I wanted to do with my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And I think a lot of people want that joy in their lives, and looking at your content and, like you said, your personality radiates this positivity and fun. And so people really enjoy that. Have you seen VR being used in the medical field at all? Like not gaming, but just for medical purposes?
When I was a nurse, VR wasn't implemented at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was a pharmacy tech for 10 plus years, and about 5 years in, I started seeing it being used for training purposes, CPR training, some surgical training, and learning how things work with the human body and stuff like that. I've been removed from the medical field since I went full time on YouTube, but I've seen it it's grown. It's helping people who have Alzheimer's or cognitive issues sort of regain the ability or regain a quality of life, being used to help children, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's taking off. It's something that I'm passionate about.
Great. And what motivates you start your YouTube channel, like that day of? Like what triggered that? And did you do it for fun, or you had aspirations about how big this can become?
No, I did it totally for fun. The whole reason why I started was because I had this burning passion that it can be used to help people, either mentally through humor or through experiences. And I remember I came home from work, and I have really bad social anxiety, dealing with people, dealing with the public and stuff. And I came home from work one day, and I picked up my headset, and I was like, this is it. Like, I have to share VR with people. And it's also jumping a hurdle as far as putting myself out there in a way that I wasn't comfortable with originally.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can use, my struggle and me breaking out of my shell to help other people, it works.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having this. You talk about anxiety with people, but you seem to dedicate your life to helping people, whether it's
Yes.
your nursing or pharmacy, I work in a pharmacy, or a VR. So it is almost tackling what you fear most, face on, and or head on, because you know it will make people's lives better. And I think that's very respectable.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I've since I was a kid, since I was 13, when I first stepped into a nursing home, that's all I've done is try to help people. And now, you know, VR has given me the ability to do both in a way that's totally unique and totally different.
Yeah, it's great. And as you know, most people, when they start their YouTube channels, you know, a lot of people want to be YouTubers, and a lot of people don't really get a lot of traction. They get a dozen, few hundred followers. So what was the time when you started to realize, wow, this is really picking up and this could be something pretty big?
I would say the first time that I played Asgard's Wrath, when it first came out, I took a gamble and posted a clip on TikTok that went viral. And I remember I was at a concert that night, and I was paying more attention to what was going on with the clip than I was the show. And that's when I realized, like, okay, people are latching onto this. People like, you know, that type of humor. People like what I'm doing or what I'm showing. And that was the first time that it showed me the power of, you know, spreading. At the time, I was just trying to spread fun and positivity and humor, and seeing how it clicks with people. And then when I played Half-Life Alyx when it first came out, that was also a factor as well, taking people on a different side. So instead of, you know, just going and running gun and showing off the technical aspects, playing with the head crabs, people liked it, so I went with it, and it's just my humor. It's what I do in gaming.
And of course, it resonated with a lot of people. That's why a lot of people do watch your content and engage with it. What excites you about 2022 for yourself and for the world in general?
Hope. Specifically, hopefully we get a grasp on this COVID thing and things can start to sort of go back to normal, or what we think is the new normal. For me personally, just taking everything to another level, focusing more on the content and interaction with the community. One of my big goals for 2022 is to definitely develop my community, bring more people in, interact with the audience more, show them really what VR can do. Yeah, just keep on keeping on.
What do you think VR can do that most people don't expect? Like, what do you think, let's say someone has not tried VR before and they heard about it, they watched videos about it. What do you think would blow their mind? Like, wow, I did not know this coming into VR.
My first wow moment when I got into VR was playing Super Lucky's Tale, just because when I sat down and I put on the headset and just, I went back to childhood, that style of game. And let me figure out how to answer this better. The level of immersion is what's going to wow people. So when they put on the headset, I think everybody expects something like the phone VR headsets where you put your phone in and it's like this, you know, the 360 videos that you see promoted all the time. But when you put it in and you're actually in the environment, when you can, you know, turn around and see things and hear things that you wouldn't normally hear in a video game. And especially with the development of hand tracking technology and stuff like that, like being able to reach out and touch something, that's what's going to be the thing, is just how immersive it can be.
Okay, so it's like people logically understand the concept, but until really experience it, you know, you don't really know VR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard this analogy, not about VR, but just for something else, about, you know, sushi. I don't know if you eat sushi or not, but people say if you just describe people, sushi is just uncooked fish, you know, it just doesn't sound appealing at all, right? And they have to actually taste it and taste high quality sushi. Wow, this is actually really good. So
I was the same way with sushi when I started. I hated the idea of, you know, this is uncooked fish. It looks so gross. What are you going to eat? And then you actually try it and you're like, pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And actually, I have a friend who, when he was dating his now wife, he realized that she doesn't like sushi, and he says, "I'm going to take you to the best sushi restaurant possible. If you don't like that, then yeah, you don't like sushi. But if you like that one, that means you just haven't had good sushi before." And she ended up loving it, and she ended up being realized that she actually just been to bad sushi places, and then she
Mhm.
again. So that's that's a nice way to get people into something that they, just like you said, some people try VR and they try the cheap version, the phone version. Like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
like the thing you can get at Walmart.
yeah, and it's like, hey, if you
It's
want to
not the
experience
same.
something, you want to try something that's really nice, and that's when you can conclude, yeah, maybe it's not for me, or it is
Mhm.
for me. So
Yeah,
similar.
it's totally different experience.
Yeah. So were there any days where you just felt extremely discouraged doing your channel and just wondering, hey, what am I doing, if I should still do it or not, and how do you deal with that if you have those days?
I think every content creator has had those days when it's, it's an idea that you've worked on for so long or something that you believe in. And then either, the YouTube algorithm doesn't agree with you, or it's not as much of a hit with the audience as you think. When I get into those funks, all I have to do is read the comments from the audience. And, people are saying, oh, I love your content, or I bought a game because of you, or something like that. And that just sort of refocuses me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, this has a purpose. We have to keep going.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about, is just keep going, spread the message.
And speaking of those comments, obviously sometimes you can have very negative trollish comments on YouTube, right? There's like the unfiltered, anonymous, some of the worst things about people come out.
Girls aren't funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you deal with that? And I'm sure at the beginning it was probably harder to deal with it, and I'm sure now you have a better system to not take it personally. So how did you deal with these?
So, and leading in with my social anxiety, when I first got the negative comments, like the troll comments, girls aren't funny, this is dumb, how do you play a game this way? Of course it affects you. It would get me down, but then right behind it would be another positive comment and another positive comment and another positive comment. And over time, I've kind of learned to just, either I'll hit back at the trolls. So I'll leave them a snotty comment back, which is rare, but if I feel it needs it, or just straight up ignore them. If I have, trolls in my Discord, I'll ban them. If I have people blowing me up on TikTok, I'll block them. I've been very, very, very blessed that I haven't had it as bad as my friends, in the content creation scene have had it. But yeah, the best way that you can handle it is just to literally ignore the trolls, ignore the negative, the people who are purposely, trying to make you feel bad. As far as negative comments relating to the content, like, oh, you could have done this better, or why don't you try this? You learn to take it as constructive criticism and realize, okay, maybe I really did do something wrong. But you shouldn't let it get you down, especially the troll comments as a person. Just, you have to believe in what you're doing. Yeah, and that's the most important part.
And obviously having the positive comments overtake the negative ones. And
oh, yeah. I love my community. The positive comments and the joking comments and stuff, they always make my day.
Yeah, the thing about human psychology is, like, sometimes I run workshops before, and even if 100 people are saying, wow, this changed my life, this is the best thing ever. If I see one person leave a feedback like, oh, it's a waste of my time, I just feel sad for like half a day. We tend to like magnify the negative one.
The bad time.
Yeah, even though it's, and I think, like you said, it's very smart to just kind of see the positive ones and say, hey, the people who don't like it, that's not my audience. That's not who I'm engaging. I'm engaging the people who love it. And and there's a lot of them. So yeah. Let's go to something more positive. What was the most exciting highlight moment in your, YouTube or just sharing the VR career?
So I always think about this in two ways. So as far as YouTube, the day that YouTube picked the channel, or picked me as content creator on the rise, was a big deal, just because I had never worked in YouTube before. I'm learning all of this. So it felt like a big honor that, the channel was plastered all over, YouTube's Twitter and on the front page of YouTube. Another thing was when, of course, when we hit 100, or when I hit 100,000, me and the community, we sort of celebrated that fact, and everybody was all excited. As far as content creation, my favorite thing was showing, my favorite game is Half-Life Alyx. So when I can go in and just show something that blows my mind and it blows the audience's mind, that was always my favorite part. That and starting FNAF, but That that's just because FNAF took horror to a new level for me. So I was never the person to be scared in video games. But when you compare like Five Nights at Freddy's with virtual reality, it's like phew, whole other level of scary, whole other level.
Yeah, obviously, 100,000 is a tremendous achievement. Did you feel like that made you happier, more meaningful than the 10,000 mark or other
No.
metrics?
No, it was just it was a signal for me, like, I am here. It wouldn't matter if it was, 100,000 or 50,000. In the end of the day, the numbers don't matter, but it's a symbol in YouTube, like you get your first play button and stuff. It sort of, I don't know if solidifies is the right word, but it's almost like winning a trophy, like all of this hard work and stuff. Because I do all of the research and stuff and the learning on my own. I wasn't into video editing and all of that. But to sort of, like I said, it's like a job well done achievement for the channel.
Yep. What do you think is a piece of content that you're just really proud of? You think more people should like it than people recognize?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. I always, it doesn't matter. To me, the game doesn't matter as long as I'm having my fun and my audience is having fun with me. My favorite pieces or my favorite content to make, I should say, are always horror games or the games that aren't well known. See, I've got 350 videos. Let's see.
Maybe there's some video where when you're making like, wow, this is amazing. This is going to be a big hit. I really love this. And then maybe it's for some reason or another, it was not as attracting to people as you want it to be. And you feel like it's underappreciated and you want more people to check that out.
Now you've done picked my brain. Because there's always videos where there's always videos where I'm like, oh, this should have done better. This went so well, or this game was so fun, or this moment was really like, one of my favorites has always been the Lone Echo series. Just the concept of it is so unique as far as traveling in space and the graphics and showing how expansive VR could be for I think the game came out in like 2017, 2018, something like that. So early on from where we are now, that's something I would, for anybody that is into VR and to see what it could potentially do, Lone Echo would be one of the ones. And as far as the content goes, for my channel, it's a little bit raunchier because it was early on in the channel. And I was still kind of testing the waters with, what I wanted to show people. But that would be probably it.
Did you have an exploration journey to find your voice, find what is the right type of energy level and all that stuff?
Oh yeah. I always rewatch my old videos to see, this is where you started and this is how far you've come in terms of my own experience, with social anxiety and finding my voice, like you said. I was incredibly awkward when I first started the channel, not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do, just knowing that I had a purpose for what I wanted to eventually do. It's been fun getting comfortable, sharing things about myself or how much energy, how too little energy can affect, the way the audience is feeling. How sometimes I used to be one of the ragey gamers, how that can come across in a video the wrong way. Yeah, it's been a trip.
Yeah, the journey is more important than the destination. So a trip is good.
Yes, 100%. You learn more from the trip.
Yeah, for sure. Where do you think VR would be in 10 years?
Oh, I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be full dive, like SAO. I'm hoping. I think eventually we're going to get to the point, especially in XR, you know, the whole industry as a whole, to where it's going to be seamless. So it's not going to be, you know, a big bulky headset, or it's not going to be, big bulky headset, base stations and stuff like that. I think eventually it's going to get to the point, maybe not an app on your phone, but it's going to be something that is a lot more consumer friendly. The games are going to be a lot more immersive as far as the experience as well. You're going to be able to do things that you never imagined possible, for sure. I think that I truly think that it's going to change the world. Not just my niche is gaming, not just in gaming though, but across everything, every industry. They're using it for training in the medical field, the military, the police. It's going to change lives.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so that's where we're all spending a lot of time trying to make the industry better and better, and enable that good future. As we're wrapping up, I'll get a last question, which is, what are some top unexpected lessons you have acquired in the past 3-5 years?
Ooh, unexpected lessons directly related to VR?
It could be anything. It could be
channel?
anything you learned, but it could be on VR, whatever you feel like the audience could benefit from. And the key thing is unexpected. You didn't expect you would walk in learning these things.
I think the biggest lesson that I've taken away from the content creation side is to not compare yourself to other people. If you stay true to you, I've always been a firm believer of staying true to who you are, regardless of whether everybody else sees that you're the weird one, or you're different, or you like things that other people don't. And it's a problem that I'm still kind of grasping with. Don't compare yourself to anybody else in life, in content creation, or anything else, because you're just going to end up being miserable. As far as YouTube and stuff like that, you just have to be consistent. You have to keep your purpose in mind, of what you're trying to accomplish with your content and with the channel. Basically the main thing for me has been to just stay true to who you are and follow your passion. If you asked me 5 years ago what I would be doing, I'd tell you I'd probably still be working at CVS or in a hospital, and not following, you know, something that I've discovered along the way. And the whole follow your dreams. I can get cliche, but I mean, it's what's happening. I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life in a hospital, you know, working as a nurse or working as a pharmacy tech. But yeah, just being open, following your dreams, see where they go.
Yeah, I mean, cliches become cliche because they resonate. Work. Yeah, they resonate with people, and they follow truthful wisdom. But I think what you say makes a lot of sense, right? You have to believe in yourself and trust yourself, because you've all you got, right? You know,
yeah, exactly. You can't, especially in content creation, you can't follow the numbers. You can't, you know, listen to the trolls. You can't trust an algorithm to do what you want to do. It doesn't matter if you're changing one person's life or helping one person see the world in a different way, or a million. You're still changing a life, and you have to keep that in mind, that you're bringing happiness or light or information or knowledge or whatever it is that you're passing on with your message to somebody else. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And if you try to be like someone else, then you're going to fail miserably at that.
Yeah.
And then
and you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
Trust me when I tell you, when I first started, I was like, why aren't my numbers like theirs? Why can't I make videos like them and stuff? And I was absolutely miserable. But when you sit down and you focus on what you want and how you want to do things, it doesn't matter. You're happy.
Yeah, that's and happiness sustains your passion, and that's how you reach more people and attract more people to that too. Great. So we're going to wrap up. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience about you, about your channel? And feel free to plug anything you want.
And nothing for me personally. If you guys want to come say hi, I mean, I have a Discord channel. Come say hi to Jairi. I'm more than open to have a conversation with you guys about anything VR related, game recommendations, tech recommendations, what graphics card should I buy if it's not the 3080 Ti, anything really. Yeah, I love you guys, and I'm here. We're in here for the long haul.
Yeah, we really appreciate, as you can see, we're definitely trying to be a bit more social on social media. We're definitely trying to be more personal. Yeah.
I've
And
got to get on that. My social anxiety gets to me, and I'm just like, should I tweet that? Should I really post that? Is that really something people want to see? And then I end up scrubbing the whole thing.
hey, back to your own advice, right? Be yourself, be
Yeah.
authentic to yourself, and
Yeah.
don't worry about what other people, people are attracted to you because of who you are, not who you pretend to
Exactly.
be, right? So
Exactly.
yeah. And for us also, there are challenges in the industry, a lot of ups and downs, but we care about it. We're one of the few people who really try to pioneer it. So we're working very hard to hopefully satisfy as many people as we can. But difficult to please everyone, but we keep trying. So would love to continue to explore how we can be valuable to the community, the influencers, the gamers, the businesses, and make a difference. So again, thank you so much for putting all your work into the industry and making it so vibrant. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So thanks a lot, and look forward to seeing more amazing content on your channel, your YouTube, but also Instagram, take all the places you're at, and potentially check out what's going on in Discord. So thanks a lot. I'll
Oh,
see you
yeah.
next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.